Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Olight X7R Marauder. New release by Olight. This is now the rechargeable version. They basically have upped the lumens, added some features, and made this guy rechargeable. This is my first Mega Light to review, guys. I'm actually kind of excited. I typically avoid the high dollar flashlights because, you know, it's not what you guys are too into. But at the same time, I really wanted to review this one because I need to know, like, is it worth it? You know, I just got to have that in my head and be able to know, you know, what do you get? You know, what is, it just helps me help you guys when I'm able to see the entire range of flashlights. And before we get into this, guys, another thing I have to say, I am really disappointed in a couple of channels. Now, this flashlight gets released, and Olight typically releases the light on the same day to pretty much everybody. A lot of YouTube channels reviewed this the first day they got it. Really disappointing that some of these people literally got this light and were able to not only test it, but film a review, edit, and post it within 12 hours of receiving that light. Absolutely ridiculous. And those channels that did that, you should be ashamed of yourself to not even test that flashlight. Ridiculous. Especially for the money people are going to want to pay for this and will be paying. You know, as a gear reviewer, you can't do that. So, shame on those guys. Alright, off the soapbox. So, look at this thing, man. 12,000 lumens, you know, on your super high turbo. It's got a step down after 3 minutes. You got another turbo, 7,000, which steps down after 12 minutes. And you get your 3,000, 1,500, and your 10 lumen, which is 30 days, which is awesome. I love lights that have nice high highs, but also that moonlight low mode to back up for that kind of long-term survival kind of situation where you might need this thing. This is a triple flashlight that uses the XHP70 with an orange peel reflector. Battery is internal and not removable. Biggest disappointment of the light is that the battery cannot be removed, at least as far as I'm concerned. IPX7 waterproof rating, we'll get into that in a little bit. A little lanyard holder here that slides out so that you can hook the lanyard up to it, and we'll show you that. Your charging port here is in the bottom. Really interesting way this thing, you turn it to open up the charging port and then close it, and that's probably the reason why it has the IPX7 waterproof, because that's probably not as waterproof as a good O-ring sealed. But man, though, this thing reminds me, this thing's like prom night, like, hey baby, I want to charge in your port. Nope. Yeah, this thing just makes me laugh just the way it closes up like that. Very standard E-switch from Olight. You know, you click to turn on, long click to get into moonlight. Once you're on, we're going to hopefully move this over here so it doesn't completely blow out the picture because it is so bright. You hold to switch between your modes. You got your low, medium, high. Double click brings you to turbo. That's your 7,000 mode turbo. Double click again brings you to your 12,000. I'll spare you the washout. Triple click will get you to strobe. We're not going to do it because it's just too bright for camera, and I really don't want to kill you guys. A couple other neat features now tucked into this. Has a lot of the normal features, which is like the slow turn on and turn off, so that way you're not like blinded by it. It has a proximity sensor. This thing is very hot. If you put your hand in front of this at the 12,000 lumens, you could burn yourself very quickly with this. This is a very hot light. This is a lot of energy coming out of here. There's a proximity sensor. If you put something in front of the beam at close, it will actually step the light down. Very good, very important for if you were to accidentally turn this on and set it down. You don't have to worry about starting a fire or burning yourself or anything like that. Very good safety feature. Also, this thing here, and we'll try and turn off the lights, hopefully so you can see. Nope, try another light back on. But this here lights up, and it does that kind of dragon's breath thing where it goes from dark to light, and it stops doing it when you leave the light alone. We'll see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah, so that lights up, and so if you set this light down, it will actually do that, and the light in the switch will glow on and off. and then eventually when you move away from it and there's no motion, it will stop doing it. But then if you wave your hand in front of it, it'll start doing it again. So if you set this light down on your bedside stand and you're reaching for it, you know, boom, that will come on due to your motion, and you'll actually be able to find the light, which I think is a really cool thing. All right, so let's go over accessories since we're here. And it's only got the one flat, you know, where the button is. Otherwise, this thing is very rolly, guys. I gotta say that. The sheath is very good quality, very excellent. Nice thick sheath. It's got a good belt loop on it, which is what you really need. Your lanyard to hook up, and your charger. One note about the charger, guys, I highly recommend you use the Olight charger with it. This charger is actually rated for 4 amps. If you were to use your average run-of-the-mill charger for like your cell phone, it's not going to charge at 4 amps. Most cell phones only charge at 2 amps. So I did want to point that out, because I know lots of times when I see a charger like that, I'm like, meh, whatever, you know, and toss it in a bin. But that one is rated for 4 amps. So when you're charging this, it will cut down on your charging time significantly if you use the Olight charger. Unless, you know, maybe if you have like some other chargers that can charge quick, but I recommend using that one because most of us only have cheap, you know, and don't have something that can handle that 4 amps. Charges, of course, it's got the light, tells you when it's charged versus uncharged. It's actually kind of difficult to see because it's in here, actually, and it's lit up around the port. So the good, the bad, the ugly. Very nice searchlight. You know, kind of the beam is spread out. It very diffuse beam. It lights up my whole backyard. You've probably already seen some of the footage in here. The whole backyard lights up. This thing is just insanely bright and lights up a huge area. Kind of a purpose-driven tool. Not something you're going to need if you're out hunting. You know, hunting, you're typically going to want, you know, that tight throwy beam so you can see out at distance for when you're shooting, but still keep your night vision. This thing here just lights it up like it's day. So it's just a gigantic wall of light that comes out. Build quality is there, guys. I'm going to say one thing too. Drops Forward Survival managed to break his, and I'm really disappointed in that channel as well. I hate to trash all these channels, but he went and froze this thing. And the thing is this only has an IPX7 waterproof, which is pretty much like 30 minutes of water is all it can handle. And he went and he froze it, and then the thing stopped working, and he was kind of like, oh, well, it's garbage, you know. And really unfair, you know. I get it. You know, we want to test these things and make sure they work, but at the same time, you can't test above the standards that this thing is rated for and then complain when it doesn't meet those. It's just kind of, you know, but it's IPX7, it's got shockproof, all that stuff. Everything you expect out of an Olight, the good build quality, all that stuff. The bad, I don't like the non-removable battery. That really bothers me. You know, not being able to just put in fresh batteries really doesn't sit well with me. I would really prefer just to be able to slap in a couple 18650s and be done with it. I know Olight probably did it because there's probably some kind of proprietary high drain battery in there, and they probably just don't want to deal with people returning the flashlight saying, well, this isn't 12,000 lumens, because they put a bunch of ultra fires in there. So I get it to one extent, but for flashlight geeks like me, it's kind of a downer. Plus, too, you really can't disassemble the light. I haven't found out how to open this back yet, so I'm not quite sure. It looks like there might be a little tiny retaining screw there to take out, but I'm really hesitant to take this thing apart because I don't know how it's constructed and I don't want to break it, to be honest. But there's really not a lot you can take apart. I can't get the bezel off. I think the bezel's glued. I can't get the head apart, so I think everything on this light is pretty much glued and screwed. So if you're looking to modify the light or do anything fancy with it, I just don't think it's going to happen. So overall, guys, I gotta say, you know, it's built well. It's really enjoyable. It puts out a ton of light, good specs, you know, good low moonlight mode, good super high turbo mode, nice features, everything you want. The question is, do you need it? You know, and that is the thing. Do I need this for the work I do? Do I need this for my homestead? Are there cheaper and better options? And that's, you know, what I wanted to point out for you guys is it's a lot of light, but it's a lot of money, you know. And the big question is, do you get what you pay for when you buy a light like this? And it really, I think, is up to you guys individually. So I hope you guys enjoyed.